everybody? It is your boy Arrows, and we're here for Arrows TCG. We're back. A little bit of an unplanned hiatus last week. Got a little down, got a little sick, but we're back on the board. But before we get into what today's video is about, I just want to give a very heartfelt, very big thank you to everybody for the love that you guys have shown the Arrows TCG content, specifically the Dragon Ball Super stuff, past couple of Dragon Ball Super videos I put up. You guys are phenomenal. I greatly appreciate it. I was not expecting that when we started branching into stuff, especially with Super, because there are other amazing content creators out there that do Dragon Ball Super that are so much better at it than I am. I'm still relatively new to Fusion World and all the mechanics, and I don't playing online. I don't have all the cards that other people have just yet. But the love and support you guys have shown me on these videos is fantastic. Super and Lorcana have kind of become my main card games right now. Super because we can do it all on the online client, and it's relatively cheap. Not a lot of people play Fusion World in my area, so I don't really have like a lot of physical paper content for that game. But Lorcana, I have a locals. I have a local playing group. And I can do a lot more stuff with that. Excuse me. Do a lot more stuff with that physically, which is awesome. So we're gonna put up our first Lorcana video under the Arrows TCG banner. I'm really excited. A little something different. I've usually been like a little bit afraid to do stuff like this in the past because I'm not as well versed in this card game as I am others. Like, I've been playing it since it came out, but I'm not as well versed tournament wise in Lorcana. That'd be the best way to put it. Tournament wise in Lorcana as I am in like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, because I've played in tournaments with those. I played in big tournaments in those. But we're gonna do our best with what we can. You guys, it is reveal season for Azurite Seas. We got a new reveal. We've gotten a couple of reveals, but this is like, I feel really confident that I can really do this one justice. So we're gonna be talking about our new friend, Adora Beazle, Winter Pop. Guys, I will be honest with you, I have not watched Wreck-It Ralph. I keep meaning to, but when you work a full-time job and you're trying to do as close to full-time content creation as you can, it doesn't really leave time for movies. But that is a different story for a different day. Let's get into the card. I'm going to show you guys what it reminds me of, some of the cool combinations you can do with it. And I think this is a really good card. So right off the bat, this card reminds me of Donald Duck, Not Again from Rise of the Floodborn. That card was a legendary, whereas this one is just a common, which is super, super cool. The Donald was a 5-drop. This is a 3-drop, 1/5, same stat line. They both quest for 1. The Donald being legendary is just a little bit better, but I feel like the Winter Pop has a really good early game, whereas Donald, I find by like turn 5, when you could really play this, there's a good chance it's not going to stay on the field as long. And what I find with Lorcana, and if anybody out there is more knowledgeable than me, you're more than welcome to correct me, is that when you are in the mid game, it's harder to keep cards like this on the board because they're generally going to get targeted down really, really quickly, especially once you get into that like turn 5 on play, when your opponent starts having access to Grab Your Swords, Let It Go, Lady Tremaine, Madame Medusa. As you get higher up, not Teeth Inhibition, be King Undisputed. Although I guess that is a 4-drop, so it can't really count. But there are lots of ways once you reach that like 5 ink on that you can keep, that these cards won't stay on the field for very long. So that's why I kind of like this being a 3-drop. That means we're probably, hopefully, in a semi-perfect, decently perfect world, we're going to get its effect off, and we're going to get a good amount of lore out of it, hopefully. So what Winter Pop, I'm just going to call her Winter Pop because I cannot pronounce that first name, does is, while this character has damage, her Keep Driving ability says she gets +1 lore, which is awesome. But and there are lots of ways that we can trigger this too, because you don't want your opponent to be attacking it to get its effect off, because that means that you've only quested for 1, and B, you've only quested like once, and it's probably off the field. So right off the bat, the initial combo is Sugar Rush Speedway. It's a 1-drop uninkable Ruby card from Shimmering Skies, rare. 5 willpower, costs 0 to move there. Once per turn, you can exert a chosen character here and then deal it 1 damage and move them to another location for free. So you can play this, then you can, I'm assuming this works like this because it's the spell exerting the card, not the card being exerted to sing or something like that. So you can play it, move it to Sugar Rush Speedway for free, give it a damage, and then bop it off to another location. Now, the cool thing with the Donald is that the Donald has evasive. Winter Pop does it, but luckily Ruby and by proxy Emerald has a lot of great ways to give stuff evasive. The first off being the RLS Legacy. If you're playing Ruby with any other color, you can include a couple copies of RLS Legacy. It's a 4-drop uninkable. Got to be careful with our uninkables. It has 8 defense, and it costs 3 to move something there. Characters gain evasive when they're there. And if you have a character there, you pay. If you have a character there, you have another effect. But honestly, we don't 100% care about that. But if you're spamming out with Emerald, Ruby Emerald, you also have access to, in my opinion, the much better Fang River City. Fang is a 4-drop location like RLS Legacy, but it's inkable. So if you draw them early after your mulligan, you can ink copies of them. Whereas if you draw extra copies of RLS before you're ready to play it, you can't ink them unless you're combining Ruby with Sapphire. But in that case, there are other better options, and you're probably not playing Winter Pop in the first place. So Fang gives characters that are there ward and evasive. It costs 2 to move, and it has 6. So it's 2 less defense, but you're getting ward as well. So you can move Winter Bell. You can move Winter Pop to Sugar Rush, exert it, bounce it over to Fang. It has a damage, so it's going to be questing for more than 1, and it is now has ward and evasive. This may be a little slower in like today's game, especially since you'd have to do it. You'd have to be able to do this like on turn like 4, and then after that you start getting into like the stuff that can do stuff like that can hurt you there. But you have ward on Fang, which means it's going to make it a lot harder to get rid of Winter Pop. And with evasive, they won't be able to challenge it unless they have evasive characters as well. If you don't want to go the way of the way of locations, you can also use you can fly. Like if you don't want to use any of these locations and you want to use something else, you can fly to give chosen character evasive until the start of your next turn. Or another really cool combo involves using Aerial, Adventurous Collector. Whenever you play a song, a chosen character of yours gains evasive until the start of your next turn. So, and she's evasive herself. But what song would you sing to do this? You can also also do damage, and that's where we have Teeth and Ambitions. Teeth and Ambitions from Rise of the Floodborn says you can deal 2 damage to chosen character of yours to deal 2 damage to another character. Right off the bat, you can when you have Aerial, you can use Teeth and Ambitions to pop 2 damage counters on Winter Pop. She now has evasive through Aerial's ability, and she has the damage to use her own ability, and you can start questing. You can do this on like your turn 4, which honestly is still really good. You're probably going to get about 2 lore off, 2 quests offer for 4 lore. So these are just like early combos with what I know, what I like to play. If you guys have anything, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear it. I think this card has a lot of potential. Like I said, it does remind me very much of Donald Duck, who is really good. It does remind me of this Donald Duck, who is really good. I'm actually playing this Donald and Teeth and Ambitions as a combination in my Ruby Emerald evasives. So I know this combo works really well, but I think this actually has a lot of potential too, because yes, you're not going to get as much lore as you will with the Donald, because the Donald gives you 1 for every 1 damage counter, but you're still going to get some early quick lore in decks that run Ruby are generally aggressive off the start anyway, unless they're running Sapphire. Those decks are more in their mid to end game, so they can catch up on lore a lot quickly. But other Ruby decks are usually more aggressive, so I think Winter Pop has a place in these. as a nice little alternative, a nice little new way of getting quick lore right off the bat. And we have, like I said, we have so many different ways to get damage on it and to give it evasive, which is really cool, and definitely will let it keep around longer. But yeah, that's what I think about this card. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how I did. I feel like I did terrible. I'm really nervous right now, so please bear with me. Like the super stuff, as we do more of these, I'll become a little bit better. Let me guys know if you like this format. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Arrows TCG. So follow me on any of my socials down there. And yeah, just enjoy Lorcana. Enjoy playing card games. Card games are amazing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there.